Good morning, everyone. December 20th, 2018. Why smart people are vulnerable to putting tribe before truth. Now, in my opinion, humble guy, if you put your tribe before truth, you can't really be all that smart. But let's get into it. Now, Americans like to believe that they are scientifically aware. However, every time evidence pops up that contradicts what these people have learned in school and throughout their lives, they reject it automatically. And, well, it sets humanity back when people reject truth and go with the lie. But what intellectual capacities, or if one prefers cognitive virtues, should the citizens of a modern democratic society possess? For decades, one dominant answer has been the knowing and reasoning abilities associated with science literacy. Scientific evidence is indispensable for efforts or for effective policy making. Let me stop right there. There should not be policy making based on science. Science should be a completely separate field than law, or from law, and government. Why do I say that? Now, the reason I say this is because when you get government involved with science, paying the paychecks of the scientists, you get a lot of lies, right? Look at the technology that's been suppressed as a result of the government not wanting to allow these technologies to be made public. Take, for example, anti-gravity technology. They don't want anti-gravity technology because of money, because of oil, because of petroleum, gasoline. Anti-gravity technology does not require any such thing. And as a result, they've suppressed this technology. Can you imagine not being stuck in traffic anymore because you have a vehicle that can go up and down and just get you places much more efficiently and quickly than our current cars? I mean, how many times have you been driving along just to have some asshole in front of you slam on their brakes and panic for no fucking reason? It drives me nuts. I get really seriously pissed off every time I drive because people are driving who probably shouldn't be. If they're that panicked, then probably they should be not driving and allowing or having someone else drive for them. But no. And they go on to say, for self-governing society to reap the benefits of policy-relevant science, its citizens must be able to recognize the best available evidence and its implications for collective action. And this isn't wrong, but we need another characteristic to go along with that, right? It's not enough to understand some of the science. We have to have the cognitive, the ability to say, hey, wait a minute. There's a pyramid on Mars. What the fuck is a pyramid doing on Mars? Wait a minute. There's a face on Mars? Why is there a face on Mars? Instead, what people do is, oh, that's impossible. So, this account definitely isn't wrong, but the emerging science of science communication, which uses scientific methods to understand how people come to know what's known by science, suggests that it is incomplete. And it is dangerously incomplete, unless accompanied by another science reasoning trait. The capacities associated with science literacy can actually impede public recognition of the best available evidence and deepen precarious forms of cultural polarization. Now look at 9/11, for example. There's all kinds of scientific evidence that says nanothermite was used to turn those towers into dust. But because a group of assholes got together and decided, oh no, the planes took it down, it was actually the fuel from the planes that collapsed the towers. And, you know, you can dump this fuel on any steel beam out there, set it on fire, and it's not going to melt. So, the supplemental treat needed to make science literacy supportive rather than corrosive of enlightened self-government is science curiosity. And we should all be curious about science. My son, he came home the other day declaring that how much he hates science. But I had to point out to him that the video games he loves is a result of the science that he hates. I cannot tell you how important science is. This is one of the most robust findings associated with the science of science communication. It is a relationship observed, for example, in public perceptions of a Madrid of societal risk sources. Not just climate change, but also nuclear power, gun control, and fracking, among others. Now, you can show the anti-gunners mountains of evidence that shows that when a population is armed, there's far less crime. But their own bias overrides the facts in their minds. They're part of a tribe. In addition, this same pattern, the greater the proficiency, the more acute the polarization, characterizes multiple forms of reasoning essential to science comprehension. Polarization increases in tandem not only with science literacy, but with numeracy, an ability to reason well with quantitative information, and with actively open-minded thinking, a tendency to revive one's beliefs in light of new evidence. How many people do you know out there, how many YouTubers are out there that display this this lack of open-minded thinking? Look at every single Christian out there. And remember, automobiles were the work of the devil. Remember, music is the work of the devil. Remember, so many things out there Christians considered the work of the devil that were nothing but science. The same goes for cognitive reflection. The cognitive reflection test, CRT, measures how much people rely on two forms of information processing: fast, emotion-driven forms of reasoning, often called System 1, or a conscious, deliberate, analytical, slow form designated System 2. System 2 is by far the form of reasoning you want to utilize. And by the way, now I'm going to touch on this right now because Donald Trump has surprised me. He has surprised me. Pulling the troops from Syria is definitely a big surprise. However, it is worth pointing out that we will never actually know if all of those troops were brought home. We don't even know how many troops are there. So, and if Donald Trump proves me wrong, I will be the first to admit it, and I will be the first and to, give him credit. As ordinary members of the public become more adept at this style of reasoning, they don't think more like scientists. Instead, they become more reliable indicators of what people who share their group commitments think. So, the more information and data a person gets, the more they cling to their group commitments and group think. This relationship is readily apparent in public opinion survey studies, Figure 1, and it has also been documented experimentally. Experiments catch these thinking capacities in the act. Proficient reasoners are revealed to be using their analytical skills. And people, any one of you who are trapped in this left-right paradigm are not utilizing your analytical skills. So this is what makes me question the title here. Specifically, the smart people label. Now, I figured it like this. If you're so motherfucking smart, and then your bias, I'll just stick with bias. Your bias should be overridden. So these people really can't be all that smart. If you're not willing to throw away your old beliefs in light of new evidence, you're probably not smart. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. This one is from Scientific America. And I guess I'll leave the link in the description box below so you can read the whole article and come to your own conclusions. But groupthink is one of the most toxic, destructive forces there is. It is the force that allows government to lock up millions of people. It is that force that allows millions of innocent women and children to be needlessly slaughtered. Anyway, hope you all have a good day. Kill the state, live free.